So you're trying to pick a new graphics card, and it feels like you're picking a fighter for a title match, right? In one corner, you've got the newer, smarter technology, and in the other, you have that proven, raw horsepower. Today, we're putting two of NVIDIA's biggest contenders head-to-head, the RTX 4060 versus the older, but still incredibly tough, RTX 3070.
Welcome to the Bay. We're going to put both of these cards on the test bench, run them through their paces, and really figure out which one deserves that precious spot in your next PC build. Let's get right into it. You know, this isn't just about which card gets more frames. It's really a clash of philosophies. Are you going to bet on the new kid on the block with all its AI-powered tricks? Or are you going to trust the sheer brute force of the last generation's heavyweight champion? Okay, let's figure this out. Let's actually frame it just like that. Think of the RTX 4060 as our ADA technical fighter. It's lean, it's super efficient, and it uses really smart, modern tech to land its punches. Then you've got the RTX 3070, the Ampere heavyweight. It is powerful, it is proven, and it wins by relying on pure, raw horsepower. Two totally different strategies to get the win. So for round one, we're stripping away all the fancy features and just looking at raw power. This is pure rasterization performance. No upscaling, no AI tricks. Just a straight-up battle to see who can push the most frames per second. And wow, right out of the gate, we have a clear winner here. The older RTX 3070 just bulldozes its way past the 4060. We're seeing it consistently land between 20 to 30% faster in most games. And let me tell you, that is a huge lead. It's something you can absolutely feel when you're playing. And what's really wild is just how consistent this is across the board. I mean, look at the numbers. The 3070 pulls ahead in every single title. In Cyberpunk, it's hitting 77 FPS, while the 4060 is at 60. In a fast-paced game like Warzone, that's a 25-frame gap. The data just doesn't lie. For raw frame rates, the heavyweight is landing some heavy blows. And this chart just makes it crystal clear. In a really demanding game like Cyberpunk at 1440p, that performance gap is the difference between a pretty good 60 FPS experience and a way smoother high refresh one. So yeah, round one, it clearly goes to the RTX 3070. But hold on, don't count the 4060 out just yet, because in round two, our technical fighter gets to use all of its modern training. This is where we see the efficiency come back, and it's all powered by a piece of tech that the 3070 just doesn't have. And that secret weapon is DLSS 3 frame generation. Now, this is exclusive to the 40 series cards. Here's how to think about it. While your GPU is rendering one frame, a special AI core on the chip is literally predicting and drawing the next frame all by itself. It then slips that new frame in between, making the gameplay feel unbelievably smooth. It is an absolute game changer in the games that support it. You know, when you compare their core features like this, you really see the two different philosophies at war. The 4060 has that modern edge. You get DLSS 3 and that incredible power efficiency. The 3070, on the other hand, makes its power play with a wider memory bus. Think of that like a bigger highway for data, and just more raw shader power, relying on the older, but still great, DLSS 2. All right, our fighters have shown us what they can do in the ring. So let's head to the final round, the weigh-in. This is where we look at the practical stuff, the specs, the power draw, and what these cards actually mean for your PC build as a whole. And honestly, this might be the single most important part of this whole showdown, because when you talk about how much power these cards drink, well, they're not just in different weight classes, they are in completely different worlds. So first up, the RTX 4060. It is unbelievably efficient. It just sips power, drawing only about 115 watts under a normal gaming load. That means way less heat, less noise from your fans, and a lot less strain on your power supply. And then you've got the heavyweight. The RTX 3070 pulls around 220 watts. That's nearly double the power of the 4060. Now this is that raw horsepower we've been talking about, but it comes at a cost, more heat, which means you need better cooling, and a much bigger power supply. Now looking at the rest of the specs, you'll see both cards have 8 gigs of VRAM, which is fine, but that memory bus difference is pretty important. The 3070's wider bus really helps it shine at 1440p, but check out the recommended power supply. You can easily get by with a decent 550-watt unit for the 4060. The 3070, though, it really wants a 650-watt PSU or even better. That's a real cost difference that affects your entire build.
Okay, all the evidence is in, the benchmarks have been run. It is time for the judge's decision.
But here's the twist. There isn't one single winner here. The right verdict depends completely on who you are as a PC builder and a gamer. So let's break it down by a few different scenarios.
First up, if you are a 1440p gamer and your one and only goal is to crank out the highest possible frame rates without any AI tricks, the winner is the RTX 3070. Its raw power just can't be beat in this matchup. It was literally built for this kind of workload.
But what if you're a 1080p gamer? Maybe you really value efficiency. You want a cool and quiet PC, and you play a lot of games that support DLSS 3. Well then, the RTX 4060 is absolutely the clear choice. It's just perfect for hitting those super high refresh rates in competitive games without turning your room into a sauna.
And for my fellow small form factor builders out there, listen up. This is a total no-brainer. The winner is the RTX 4060, hands down. That tiny 115-watt power draw is an absolute lifesaver in a tiny case where every single degree of temperature matters. It's just so much easier to cool, which means less thermal throttling and more consistent performance.
So you see, it all comes down to this. The goal isn't to find the single best card that exists. It's about navigating all these trade-offs to find the card that is right for your specific build, your budget, and the games that you actually want to play.
We've really just scratched the surface here today, but if you want to geek out and dive way deeper into all the benchmark data and see more hardware guides just like this one, the full source for this explainer is over at bestgpusforgaming.com.
So, I'll leave you with the final question. Now that you've seen the trade-offs, what's going to be the priority for your next rig? Are you going to chase that raw horsepower of the Ampere heavyweight, or does the slick, modern efficiency of the Ada technical fighter win you over in the end? Think about it. And until next time, keep it cool and keep building.